Now to the latest on a controversy surrounding religious freedom in high school athletics. A Toledo area junior was disqualified from running her cross-country race on Saturday for wearing a hijab. And now we're finding out this happened to at least 2 Cleveland Heights athletes on the same day. Brandon Simmons has been asking some tough questions on this story and joins us live from Cleveland Heights with more. Brandon, good evening to you.
Hi, Rush. Yeah, both school districts involved in this are backing their student athletes, and they say they want to see a change, and that's something they'll probably get very, very soon.
And you know, in the back of my mind was, are they going to say something about my hijab or about my uniform, because it is different.
Noor Abukaram, a junior at Sylvania Northview High School near Toledo, has been running cross country for 3 years now. At her district race last week, she experienced a first, her name missing from the scoreboard at the end of the race.
And they were like, well, you got disqualified. And I was like, for what, you know? And they're like, because of your hijab.
And she wasn't the only one. Today, we confirmed 2 Cleveland Heights student athletes had the same experience at a separate district competition held in Madison. They weren't even allowed to run the race. Both races were Ohio High School Athletic Association organized events. In a statement, the OHSAA says in part, OHSAA is already looking at this specific uniform regulation to modify it in the future so that religious headwear does not require a waiver, end quote. On the OHSAA website, I couldn't find the specific regulation referenced, and the Cleveland Heights Athletic Department couldn't either. They released a statement saying they examined the uniform rules and regulations and found no rule against religious headwear. They filed a complaint with the OHSAA and expect a solution. Noor wants the same.
It's a part of me, and I'm not going to take it off so I can run. Like, I just don't want this to happen to anybody else. Like any other girls younger than me that are wearing hijab that are going to start running. I don't want them to ever have to worry or to have to write a letter so they can go run.
Now, the good news for Noor, she did have her situation reversed. She will be allowed to run in regional competition. And just 5 minutes ago, I got another email from the OHSAA, and they said they shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. They should have discontinued that rule before this ever happened. Live in Cleveland Heights, I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
So, why does this matter? The origin of the hijab stems back to teachings in the Quran. Women of Muslim faith are taught to dress modestly to maintain modesty and privacy in the presence of unrelated males. So, as a result, a hijab is worn for just that. It should be viewed no different than someone's decision to wear long pants or an undershirt with their uniform. But for some reason, this requires a signed waiver to compete in Ohio High School Athletic Association's cross-country meets. Due to the fact that this garment requires a waiver, in turn can be linked to that of religious discrimination in sports. This is just 3 years after many Muslim females thought the struggle was over with the growing popularity of hijabs being worn in sports. Once an athlete made it to the podium during the 2016 Olympics in Rio, being the first woman to compete on the United States national team wearing a hijab.
First to 15 moves on. And there it is. Muhammad ducks the assault.
When I qualified for the Olympic team, the focus was about me being the first Muslim woman in hijab to represent Team USA at the Olympic Games.
She will become the first American athlete to compete in the Olympics wearing a hijab.
The traditional covering worn by some Muslim women.
You know how important that is, and what is a hijab?
I wanted to challenge the narrative that Muslim women are meek and docile and oppressed, being unapologetically Muslim, black, a woman, and it's like either you like it or you don't, and I don't really care either way.
With Muhammad's rise to fame being such a strong force, many companies picked up on the population that had been unsupported for centuries. Due to this, companies like Nike took action to help make the transition into sports a little bit easier for women of Muslim faith. In turn, what do we do as recreation professionals? We stand with Nike. We stand with Ibtaj Muhammad. We stand with Noor. We stand for all female athletes who feel as though they do not have a place in sports for whatever reason it may be. We need to be the change we want to see by ensuring everyone has a place to compete in doing what they love. We are the voice against institutions that do not support representation of faith, gender, sexuality, or any other reason whatsoever. As stated before, Ohio High School Athletic Association admits a wrongdoing to Noor and the other two athletes and are changing the rules as we speak for their district. But this is not the end of this sort of discrimination, unfortunately. As recreation professionals, we can work towards seeing the end, but it will not be through only one person's voice, but rather a community centered around equity and accessibility of recreation and leisure. Thank you.